Go.
We're Puppet Rebellion, and you're listening to SLB Radio.
Welcome to this Biscuit Boys special. I'm here at the Flapper, Birmingham. It's a bit different to most bars on Broad Street. This is hidden down Cambrian Walk. For a Mancunian band, I'm surprised they've actually got here. They probably spent as much time finding this place as getting off the M6 and actually finding Birmingham. I am joined by a wonderful 5-piece band that we've played an awful lot on the Biscuit Boys shows. It is the Puppet Rebellion. And gentlemen, can I just say, welcome to Birmingham, and I'm glad you found it.
Thanks a lot. It wasn't too bad actually. We've got Satnav now up in Manchester. We brought that down to the Midlands. No, it's good. We're really pleased to be here. It's our second time we played in Birmingham.
Yep.
We played here last year at a place called Talk,
yep.
Also in the city centre.
Mm-hmm.
Got a good reaction then. So yeah, we've been looking forward to coming back down really for the last 6 months or so. So glad to be here.
Now I'm going to go round the table, because we found a nice little table outside. It's a little bit chilly, but I want your names. I know you've had a line-up change, and I know that you did, and it was probably about this time last year when you were on there, because I was watching my mate Calic and doing an interview with Calic, and I was tweeting up with one of yours from a bus driving into Birmingham,
okay.
And sadly you were on another part of the city and I couldn't watch you, but I am watching you tonight. I gotta say, it does look a bit of a rocky audience.
Yeah, I mean, upstairs is rocky. We've got quite a few of our fans coming down later, and I think I think at least one of the other bands that I've heard are a bit heavier, so maybe they will have some sort of rockier fans, I guess.
Just regarding the audience.
Oh, hold on, go on.
Regarding the audience, they're not ours. The Thunder are playing tonight somewhere in Birmingham. So I've seen it on Twitter. They're all meeting here, so these are all going to pile out before we come on, I imagine. We're getting our lot will be here later on. Should be.
Well, I'm glad he's cleared that up, because I did look and I thought, fucking hell.
Well, I'm tempted. I like Thunder. I might go watching them.
Okay, so let's go round here. It's Craig, isn't it?
That's right, Craig.
Ollie.
I'm Jim, bassist.
Paul. And Daniel.
Now it's Jim Rebellion and it's Paul. Is it who started the band up? How did it come about? Where did you get the name Puppet Rebellion? I mean, I'm getting a kind of rebellious kind of attitude kicking it, and probably a kind of like hat tip to all the puppets and muppets that are in the industry.
Yeah, well, that's not so much Muppets, but puppets. Well, the name come from our original singer, who's not with us anymore.
He's not dead.
He's not dead. Right?
It's on the other side.
Yeah, but he apparently the name's from, he felt like a puppet in his old band because he wasn't given a lot of artistic freedom. Mm-hmm. So it was him who kind of like put an advert out for like-minded musicians. We replied in turn to that. And that's the Puppet Rebellion is him rebelling against his old band, basically.
Fantastic. And we've got a Suttonian in our midst.
Not to be confused with the Brummie, is it?
Well, it's called Royal Sutton, isn't it?
The royal town of Sutton Coldfield, yes, my hometown.
I think King Henry VIII wouldn't stop there, didn't he?
He did. He went hunting, and
Did he really?
yeah. There's a local girl saved him from being attacked by a wild boar. So the story goes.
Blimey, I was only taking a piss, to be quite truthful. Good
little bit of history for the Biscuit Boys.
He knows his history, don't he, this guy?
He does, yeah. He's a teacher, so not a history teacher, though.
Ah, right, okay. Who writes the songs? Who wrote Pirouette for a start?
Well, we all write different parts, so what tends to happen is myself or Paul or Jim sometimes will come in with an initial idea, musical idea. We'll bring that to the band, and then we'll start to work on some melodies, vocal melodies. So that will tend to be me and Ollie now. Once we've got a kind of skeleton down, then we'll sort of all add our own bits to it, and then take it away and try and improve it and edit it, I guess. Mm-hmm. So yeah, all of us individually.
Now Ollie's the newcomer, the new kid on the block. Is he the youngest? Because he looks the youngest.
I think I'm. Yeah, I think I am just. I think Danny's also 4th of November.
Mine's July. So yeah, you'll be on this.
All right, okay, fair play.
No,
Let's do the maths.
Oh yeah.
Hey?
1987.
87, yeah. 7787 me.
Blimey, say
Can we cut that bit out again?
No, you're all right.
A few bits to cut out.
If you had to guess, like youngest to oldest.
I ain't being funny. I'd say you're the oldest.
I'm actually the youngest.
No, I'd say you all look round about the same. And to be fair, I've got kids that are your age. 28 this year.
Get out of here.
No, seriously, I have, yeah. My oldest lad's 28. So, what do you bring to the band? I noticed there you're sound checking. You haven't got a guitar. Is it the fact that you don't play the guitar? Would you prefer a guitar? Or there's a lot of singers that prefer not to have that guitar, don't they? And give it a large one.
I can play guitar, but I've never been good enough standard to sing and play guitar. But I can play guitar to start ideas off.
Yeah,
that's usually what I use it for. So. But I'd never play it on stage. I'm not good enough.
You're not good enough.
And I don't need to concentrate on my singing.
Yeah, he's very humble, Ollie.
Yeah.
He's humble, yeah. I think, do you write and play guitar at home? Is that how you,
Yeah.
Probably will be good enough.
He played us a tune the other day, sounded very good.
Ollie, where were you before? Was you in another band? And how did you get
I'm
involved in this
I'm
band?
from Stoke-on-Trent, and I saw an ad on Join My Band, and
.com.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and I came down for an audition.
Yeah.
And they liked me.
Yeah.
We'd been auditioning a few different singers before Ollie came, and none of them. There were some good ones, but none of them that we really clicked with and loved. Yeah, but
Sorry, go on.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, sorry, was it you?
No.
someone said.
Do you know? Oh no, I'm glad you said that because I think there's voices in
As
my
soon
head.
as Ollie came down though and played with us, we just knew straight away that it was right for the band.
And again, all joking apart, you need that same person that's got that chemistry because you're going to be working with each other, you're bouncing things off.
That's
and
right,
you've got to like each other as well to a certain degree.
Yeah, well, we've always we're all quite opinionated in the band, so we still have our ups and downs now, but nothing like we used to. We seem to be a lot more calm and collective these days. I think Ollie brings like a certain amount of harmony to the band, which is pretty good.
Serenity,
yeah, because he's dead chilled out. He's not like Ollie's like really chilled out and relaxed, and it's just a good counterbalance. Well, to Craig maybe. Like,
what do you mean by that?
I don't know, just like Craig's quite
I know.
like we're all motivated and everything. Craig's quite like I want to say anal.
I wouldn't have said that, Craig, to be fair. Not
in a
in
nice way, good way. I don't mean that in a negative way. It's really good, but like
Well organised.
Yeah.
well organised, and on the ball, and Ollie just kind of balances that out a bit.
Disorganised.
Disorganised, dozy.
And all drummers, we know all drummers are balmy. Are you?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Who's your favourite drummer?
Oh, God. Stuart Copeland, probably.
Police.
From the Police, yeah. He just sounds like he's got 3 or 4 arms sometimes when he's drumming, so yeah, probably him.
How difficult is it to play the drums?
Very
and are you left or
difficult.
right-handed?
Right-handed.
Okay.
But it's very difficult. It's about patience, I think. Like, you have to lock yourself away for hours, and it's not a guitar where you can sit in your bedroom and strum a few chords. I think a lot of people can do that, whereas drums a bit of a fine art.
I'll tell you what, he's taking a piss here.
He plays with four
strings.
strings and 1 finger he plays with. So you can't say anything, but yeah, I do enjoy it as well.
But I think anyone that knows the music knows that the intelligent person in the band is the drummer, isn't it?
Yep, it's the drummer.
Not.
Were you joking then? Yeah. I'm going to assume you were joking then.
Where do you draw your influences from, Craig? I'm guessing your man over there is a bit more rocky with Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the sort of post-punk bands of this sort of early noughties, Interpol, Block Party, the Cribs, a lot of those. What?
Do you know I'm getting someone?
We're hearing voices again.
Is that you, Bab, sitting over there?
I'm not sure where they're coming from.
Tell you what,
I've got an idea where they're coming from. So yeah, those are sort of like primary musical influences, but I don't know. I think also a lot of us are influenced by each other.
Yeah.
We've all come from quite different musical backgrounds, so yeah, we all bring quite different elements to the table, I think.
You, sir?
Yeah, I'm 2004 era. That's when there was like that big indie boom. I all the music from then, really, like Strokes, Killers, Block Party.
I'd quite varied what I like. What Craig said a minute ago about influencing from each other, like there's a few bands that Craig's introduced me to that I listen to now, but I like heavier stuff as well.
I noticed that.
Well, I also like listening to Simon and Garfunkel a lot at the moment. They're really good.
Favourite song from them?
At the moment.
Did you ask that because you doubt that he actually listens to them? Was that a test to see if he knew any Simon and Garfunkel songs?
The Boxer, I quite like the Boxer at the moment. But Paul Simon, just on his own, I've been listening to Graceland, the album, a lot. That's really good. But I listen to heavier stuff as well, like right up to like heavy rock music, Guns N' Roses, Megadeth stuff. Like that.
You wouldn't think that, would you?
So if I could put you on a stage with any band, and I can't, so don't look at me like that, but if I could, what band would it be?
Well, I think being from Manchester, I think it'd be quite cool to play with the Cortinas.
Okay.
Emian Arena. I think that'd be quite a good gig.
What is the Manchester scene like? Because, in the what you were alluding to earlier with, well, slightly before that time with Paul Weller and I hate that when they call it like Britpop era with Oasis and that, because I think that's an absolute shit name. There was a load of great bands, guitar-based bands, playing great music, and I think sometimes the industry likes to put a name and a title to it and put it in a desk or a drawer. Music ain't like that. It's not a canal, it's a river, it flows.
Sorry,
I love it at times.
Philosophical statement, and I'm in awe.
I think it's more like an ocean.
Yeah.
Full of whales and
Yeah.
Killer sharks.
killer sharks, and fish poo.
Well, someone's got to eat it. But what I'm saying is, in Manchester, that's where it was. Where it was perceived, it was born. And Noel Gallagher's brought a new solo album out.
Well, he lives in London now, doesn't he? So.
Well, does that work against the grain, being a Mancunian, like him living there in? I know.
I'm not personally Mancunian, but
Yeah.
I've lived up in the northwest
Yeah,
for a
sure.
long time. No, I don't know. No, I don't think so. I mean, I think he'll always be seen as a Mancunian. So yeah, it's great that he's releasing new stuff. I'm personally a big fan of it. Going back to the question you were saying before about the sort of big scenes and that, like, we're hoping that sort of that's gonna, obviously things come back around, and we're hoping we're going to be one of the bands that come up in the new sort of generation of Manchester bands that sort of again takes the country and hopefully the world by storm.
Now, as a Brummie, you kind of think that Manchester is a bit of a mecca to that type of music. It lends itself to. Sure. Is it? Is the music scene like that in Manchester?
I think so. I mean, that was one of the reasons I moved there in the first place. I mean, I think it is like there's so many venues, and so like, there's absolutely, it really caters for everyone. And there's just a lot of bands there doing great stuff that just completely go under the radar. And I think when you're actually there amongst it, you see a lot of what you miss when you're on the outside. Yeah. So I think outside the capital, there's nowhere really that compares. I mean, Birmingham's a great city, but I think it's got a in my perception, it's more of a heavier sort of scene from the times that I've been down here. So I think for our sort of style of music, Manchester is the place to be, really, in my opinion.
Again, whether it's the truth or not, it's always the perception, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
And bands from out of town, we're doing so many shows and linking up with so many brilliant bands, and I want to bring help bring these bands to Birmingham, and certainly when they're here, interview them and watch them, because I think the music industry is so healthy with bands like the Puppet Rebellion. Give us a name check to some of the other Manchester bands that are doing it for you.
The Tapestry, one of our favourites. We play with them a couple of times.
Yeah.
Big fans of those. Slow Readers Club. A solo artist called Livo, who's recently done another single launch that we're a big fan of. Who else have we?
No Hot Ashes.
No Ashes, yeah, another really big.
Goose.
Yeah, Goose.
Yeah,
Great
track,
called Goose. Yeah, really good. So they're a bunch of really young guys who played with about 18 months ago. We've played with them a couple of times since, and they're like just a breath of fresh air. Like I think at the time we played with them, their lead singer was 15, and the talent they have was just like instantly like recognisable. So it's really, really good to see them doing well.
There's quite a lot of like good up and coming bands because we kind of try and travel around a bit. So we played with Catfish and the Bottlemen last year. They're from Wales, obviously, and we played with a band called Karma Suite.
We're from Birmingham.
We're from Birmingham. Yeah, they're really good. So I think there's great bands knocking about everywhere. Obviously, we do see a lot in Manchester because that's where we are and that's where we focus a lot. And so it probably seems to us like that's a really busy, healthy scene. But I imagine it's like that in all these other cities as well, the major cities.
It seems very difficult. I mean, I've walked through Birmingham tonight. I parked my car half a mile away because the traffic and the roadworks in Birmingham is an absolute nightmare. And I've come down Broad Street, and I'm guessing out in Birmingham tonight there's probably 100,000 people that are on the lash. Now, to get them into live venues playing live music in this city at times, I don't know what it is. It just seems very difficult. Is it the same in Manchester?
Yeah, I think it's the same anyway. Like the karaoke scene and the X Factor, like, it's killed live music, and you don't get people, you don't get like you don't get a street audience now. Like normally, if you play in a bar, sometimes you get people in off the street. But now, unless you bring the crowd down, they don't come in now. They're more interested, like you say, going out on the lash, doing a bit of karaoke. And unless, like I said, unless you got your own crowd, you're not going to get anyone there, unfortunately. Now.
Again, with that again though, with us when we play Manchester, it's rammed.
Yeah.
Because we're, obviously we're quite well known there. So for us, it's not a problem. But yeah, like Danny said, for other bands, there's not like the kind of footfall. There's so many different options. It's similar to like this tonight. If you're into rocky music, a lot of people are going to go watching Thunder and the other bands that are there. But I think we've still got our audience that are going to come watching us here. It just depends what kind of music you're into. Depends where you end up in the night, I think.
Well, I'm into your kind of music. What's the radio commercial? I mean, I'm always in rows, Twitter rows, Facebook rows, with commercial radio in Birmingham. I mean, I've got at the moment, I've got a blackout of the media in this city, because I think they let bands down. I think whether it's the written press or whether it's radio, they do next to nothing for young bands. They don't give you a shout, they don't promote you, they won't play your music. And me as a punter, and I wouldn't say that I'm a broadcaster. It's all a hobby of mine. I try my best, but it really pisses me off that they don't back and support you guys.
Yeah, I totally agree. We've been kind of talking a lot with Emma Scott. She's working
Plug-in
at Crown
Baby,
Radio,
yeah.
Plug-in Baby. She's given us a lot of help and advice, and she's given us that same message that the main stations, they don't have any control over what the DJs. You ask, could you get us to play on XFM? Could you get us to play on BBC Introducing, what have you? Unfortunately, we did with that because they've got that system. So BBC Introducing, we put a track in there, and finally we got to play on BBC Radio Manchester. So we're dead chuffed with that. But that seems to be one of the few places, the mainstream, where they're looking to play new music and support new bands.
But when they played what song was it they played? Cupboards Painted Red?
They played our new single, Watch Me Fall.
Did you?
Yeah, they played that recently.
We played that on the Biscuit Boy show as well. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And I'm loving Pirouette. I love the video to it as well.
Yeah.
But when they play your song on like Introducing, because it is a generic thing, isn't it, up and down the country?
Yeah.
What's the feedback like? Do they play you again, or is it like they played you once, that's it, done, finished?
I think I think they have a lot. I don't think it's playlisted in the same way as like the sort of standard. So yeah, I mean it does tend to be like a one-off play, but then you're on their radar, and obviously they have like an infrastructure in place where they have stages at obviously a lot of the major festivals and things. So there is other advantages to it. But in terms of getting a major playlist, and I mean it is completely different to that, like a Radio 1 playlist or an XM playlist.
I think like media for us, all that kind of stuff, like the kind of music we are and the way that we manage everything ourselves, we do everything ourselves, really independent. But then there's blogs and radio stations that are also in the same kind of boat, so we do get a lot of play and a lot of support. They're all from independent places that are interested in the same kind of thing. Yeah, like
such
yourself.
as yourself.
Yeah. Like I think I've been speaking to you on Twitter from the band, band Twitter account. I manage that, and so it's like that. It's like how we've got to know you that way. I think Mr. Peeps gave you a shout out.
Legend.
So we meet people like you like that, and then you play us and other people play us and blog about us. So we've got all these little places, and it's just just like the major radio stations. I think they don't really have a lot of dealings with indie music until it gets to a certain level. Like to mention them again, Catfish and the Battle, and they get a lot of play on XFM now, and that's where we plan to be in the next few years.
But that is thanks to people like you, and collectively,
exactly.
Like the Biscuit Boys. If there's 500 people out there doing what you're doing, that collectively can be enough kind of interest as some of the medium to large radio stations.
Yeah, it is, because I mean, I don't get paid a penny for this.
Yeah,
I love
you're
it.
in total control. I
love it.
What you play and what you
definitely.
Do, so it's definitely a double-edged sword, isn't it? It might not be as big. It might not be a Radio 1, but you can do whatever you want, can't you? And we're like that with the way we manage ourselves in the band and everything.
But it's like the music that's sent in to us, because like anything you've got, send it to tracks@sports-radio.co.uk. I mean, we've got most of your stuff because we know all about you and we keep playing you.
Yeah, sure.
And even if we can't get you on the Biscuit Boys, we've developed a Biscuit Tin, which is like Monday to Thursday,
cool.
and we just play. And then what I like to do is get it out and get it onto Twitter and tell the bands that we're playing your music, because then you retweet it, you tell your friends, and it's one of these things that
it builds up for everyone, doesn't it? Because obviously you want to increase your audience, we want to increase our audience. So as Jim said, like, we're all in the same boat. There's a lot of people out there that and through the internet now, we've got the means, as you have as well, we've got the means to do that. You've got the means to spread the word and meet like-minded people that either want to play music, write music, or talk about music.
Yeah.
You know, so it's great, really. I mean, I think that's one of the things the internet has brought, and that's obviously. It's put the power back in the hands of individuals like ourselves.
But if you like music and you're into music, or you're a DJ, or whatever your role is in the scene, it's all about finding these golden nuggets. And as soon as you've got something that gets your ears ringing, and to me it happens every day of my life.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing about it. You don't need to listen to Radio 1 to find the next band that you're going to love. You can listen on SoundCloud, or there's loads of avenues like that where you can find great music now. So it's a lot easier to find new, good music.
So let's have a way of... I want your Twitter accounts, I want your Facebook accounts, I want your website, I want your SoundCloud. People out there are going, Gabba, you've been nagging on now for about 30 minutes, talking shite like you usually do. You haven't asked them once how I can link up with this magnificent band from Manchester called the Puppet Rebellion.
You can follow us on Twitter, that's at Puppet Rebellion. We've also got our individual accounts as well. You can just find them, just search Puppet Rebellion, you can find us. We've got our own website, puppetrebellion.com, or find us Facebook/Puppet Rebellion, SoundCloud /Puppet Rebellion. There's no other band out there with our names, so if you just Google it, you're alright. It's not like you type some band names in and then about 20 different bands come up with the same name, but we seem to be, there's just us with that name.
Trust me, I done an interview with the Sex Pistols the other day, and Nancy says, don't Google us. If you Google Sex Pistols, you're going to have to come up with some strange accounts.
You're alright with Puppet Rebellion.
But again, there are so many different, sometimes a band will come up with a name, and there are multiple names, because it's a big world out there, It's not just about England, and we're linking up with a guy, Jimmy Starr, in America. I mean, Jim's he's a legend. He's got 1.2 million followers on Twitter, and people like that do retweets for bands.
Yeah, it's really good. We've got a guy in America who's set up, he wants us to come over and play in America, so he's set up a Twitter account, Puppet Rebellion USA. We've never met him, not spoke to him in person or anything, but he's done that to try and get a bit of a following over there, so that when he gets that big enough and gets enough interest, we can just go over and start playing there. So that's stuff like that's just like really helpful to us.
Talk to me about tours and festivals.
We're hoping to do some festivals this summer. In terms of the tour, we're kind of halfway through our UK tour, and we're going to be playing in Leeds tomorrow night, Blueberry Hills. We've got our own headlining gig in Manchester at Sound Control on the 28th of March, and we're playing Nice and Sleazy in Glasgow. What's the date of that one, too? April 3rd. There you go. But yeah, we're really, really enjoying the tour, and this is our first tour this year, and we're planning to do another 2 tours later in the year.
So, are you still writing stuff while you're gigging, while you're touring?
Constantly, yeah. We're writing new material, we're developing it every day, and always trying to improve our songs so people can hear them, and so people like what they hear.
So festivals then, Craig, what's the biggest festival you play, mate?
We played Tramlines last year, and we've been offered to play back this year as well. That's in Sheffield. So we're looking at that date at the moment. We've just got to check availability. It might clash with another date we're playing. We also played Headlander in Stockport last year, and Blackthorn also in Greater Manchester. We haven't actually had any other. We've got a festival booked in the Czech Republic later in the summer as well. We haven't got any other festivals booked in so far, but we're sort of in some discussions with a couple of other smaller festivals.
Have you ever toured Germany?
No.
Well, Ronnie, Germany's a great country, for British bands.
Yeah.
For guitar British bands, they love them in Germany. It's a shame in England they don't.
Yeah.
And in Ireland as well.
Yeah.
RTE, they do a piece, don't they? I think it's their equivalent to like Radio 1.
Right.
And they seem to like British, English bands that play guitars.
Right.
There just seems a reticence in our country, which is the home of the Beatles and the Jam and the Select, the Specials and Two Tone and all that.
I think there is a lot of people that like guitar-based music. I think it's just maybe escaped, like, as you said before, like about the mainstream sort of press and media. I think that sort of runs in cycles with whatever's sort of current and selling at the time. And obviously with sort of the advent of X Factor and all that sort of ilk, that's sort of dominating the charts and a lot of sort of manufactured pop music. But I think like actually on the street, this like live music is sort of alive and well. I think there's a lot of people that are still really into it. It's just you might you don't really have to like go through those mediums anymore. You've got Spotify, YouTube. There's a lot of people that just completely, including myself, that completely bypass like Radio 1 and
I do.
those sort of things. So it's not really a problem.
How bad is X Factor and how good could it be for bands?
I despise X Factor personally, and I don't agree with the medium of it at all for bands. I don't think it's a useful.
I don't think it's anything to do with what we do. X Factor, I see it as a totally separate thing. It's just so far away from anything that we're related to. There's a new one coming on. I think it's on Sky Arts, Guitar Hero or something, which is like a X Factor version of guitar players. But I think that's going to be the same thing. I don't think it's very healthy. It's just all sensational and
it's all backstories as well, isn't it?
Yeah, if you've got a tragic backstory, you can win the show, and it's not good for anybody really. It's just entertainment. It's nothing to do with.
It's just cheap entertainment. Like it's just it's got no soul. Is how I would describe it. It's just literally.
It's fine for like housewives or whatever, sat at home, or people of a certain age or whatever, if they want
Don't
to sit and watch.
Don't stereotype.
Isn't it? Or like kids or whatever. Yeah, but it's just not nothing to do with us. I don't see it as a threat or a hindrance or anything really. It's nothing to do with us. It's like it's a million miles away from anything.
But if you got rid of the likes of Simon Cowell, who to me is a complete bellender, and you put in there in charge of the X Factor, change its name, right? Call it what you want to, but on a Saturday night, you've got a programme that's putting bands like the Spitfires, like the Lost Boys.
I personally
like
don't.
You guys.
I personally don't. I don't like the format of like any sort of battle of the bands kind of things like that, where you've got some kind of like phone-in sort of thing. I completely agree with Jim. I don't think it's anything to do with the direction that real music should be heading in. So whatever the music they're playing is, I don't think it's a good idea.
We do get offered stuff like that a lot.
Yeah,
like on Twitter and that, people get in touch. We're doing a battle of bands. Do you want to do it? And to be honest, they're the only people really that I tend to ignore on Twitter. I speak to everyone else, fans or anyone else, but them kind of things we don't get involved with. It's just not an avenue we want to go down.
But a programme, mainstream, Saturday night, just showcasing bands, and you're going in the consumer's home, and people can watch how brilliant that you are. People then can listen to you on radio. Then the industry needs to be opened up so more people can listen to how fantastic these bands
it's a
are.
nice idea, but the viewing figures would probably be like 10 people.
Bollocks to the viewing figures. I just want to see decent bands on the television.
But there probably is, but there probably is some things like that are going on that that just aren't on.
Something was tried on Channel 4. I remember one quite a few years ago where they did have like a Battle of the Bands style thing, but it was more kind of Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon Channel 4 TV, and it must not have been successful.
As I say, I'm not big on the battle and that, but I would just love a television executive to have the balls to put on some proper music on the television.
You seem to get them kind of things at like Channel 4 at 2:30 in the morning on a Friday or whatever.
You just don't want to leave the house, do that? You're trying to get gigs on the TV, so you don't have to come out in the cold and leave the house.
No, what I want to do is get people that can listen to you and that can watch you, and then when you're playing, that can come and bloody well support you. Because when I was a kid, we'd go to school and like the Jam would be out there, as they say, the specials, and there was. You'd hear the Jammer coming up from like Woking, they're playing Birmingham, and there's all that aggression and everything that and you'd want to get out there and what? Well, not so much fight, Greg.
Just look at your body language.
No, but
clenched fists.
But that's the way music should get people, isn't it? It's a passion.
We did we did a pilot thing about a year and a half, 2 years ago, for like a show that worked in a similar to what you're describing. And that was good. They came down and filmed us, and we were the first one on the pilot. But then I don't think it was picked up, the show. It was a nice idea, but I just don't know if there's... It's a shame there's not more people with your mind frame, because I'd watch it.
Do you have local television in Manchester? I mean, I ain't taking a piss. I know you have running water and electricity, but there's, all up and down the country now, there's local TV channels.
Manchester had its own television channel at one point. That's where... when I said to you about Twisted Wheel before, that's where Noel saw Twisted Wheel on Manchester and invited him to tour with Oasis. So I suppose what you're saying there does work with the local TV channels, but don't think they get a lot of backing, so a lot of it's self-funded. Like yourself, like you don't get paid a penny, so a lot of it just dies a death. So unless you've got a cash cow behind putting the money in and promoting it, then it just disappears to the wayside.
Sadly, that is the nuts and bolts of it, isn't it? Unless you've got a load of money, you're all right. Music shouldn't be about that. Life shouldn't be about that. Politics shouldn't be about that. It should be about supporting people, supporting bands, playing music, and hopefully one of these days you'll get that support network.
Hopefully, yeah, that's the dream. Absolutely.
Well, you'll always get it on the Biscuit Boys or on srbradio.com
Thanks,
because
Gabby.
we love ya.
Craig hugs Gabby.
His fist isn't clenched no more. So finally, guys, you're going to be playing a set tonight. What? Probably about half an hour. 8, 9, 10 tracks.
Yeah. So we're going to play an 8 tracks, so it's a half-hour set. So there'll be quite a few that you know in there, all the previous singles, and then there's going to be 3 or 4 that you probably won't have heard that you'll love equally as you do the others.
Any favourites that you guys have got playing? Because there's always a favourite of,
My favourite's Greatest Lie Ever Told. I think that's your favourite as well, isn't it, Ollie?
Same for me.
I'm alive, I've waxed in mysterious ways. I'm a
What was the greatest lie ever told?
It's about religion.
Oh, thank God for that. I thought he was going to say somewhere else then.
Cupboards Painted Red, which
Yep.
you might know,
Yeah,
and
we
also
do.
one of the new ones that we've got, the B-side to the single, Claim to Fame, it's called.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing that tonight.
Yeah, I quite like Watch Me Fall, our new single.
Yep.
Yeah, it's taken us in a slightly different direction, you know, with our new singer Ollie, but it's still got the core sound that people loved. So,
Yeah.
Trying to erase what a dream of starting, adapt the truth. No one has heard of return to partner, but we do. And voices everywhere, eyes abide and stare and bring me to my knees. And looks cooking and still a staring glance, so we'll abandon every moment that we see. You were killing me with the words that you say. I don't believe it, but I need it. You were killing me with the words that you say. I don't believe it, but I need it. Whoa, she's calling, she's calling. There's blood in the water. Let me be your sins. Let me be your sins. Never could have hoped to conceive this lasting. A trap we choose, staging our demise in the scene we've mastered. Enjoy the ruse. Voices everywhere, eyes abide and stare and bring me to my knees. The looks could kill and still a stare and glance, so we'll abandon every moment that we see. You're killing me with the words that you say. I don't believe it, but I need it. You were killing me with the words that you say. I don't believe it, but I need it. Whoa, she's calling, she's calling. There's blood in the water. Let me be your sins. So take it all and just watch me fall. Do you hear me? Take it all and just watch me fall. Do you hear me?
And finally,
I'll probably go with Chemical Friends, but the revamped version, like the version you've heard on SoundCloud,
Yeah.
has been totally changed, and for me it's our strongest song now, so to open on that as well always gets me going in the mood for the gig.
and you get a drum solo as well. Do the guys give you a drum solo?
I'm lucky they let me play drums, to be honest. There's so many egos in this band. When I can make up my own drum beat, I feel happy, so we'll take drum solos next year, I think.
Who has got the biggest ego?
Oh, I can't say that, Craig.
Who's the biggest joker, Craig?
Jim. Jim's funniest in the band.
That was a
Yeah.
joke, Jim. That was a joke.
Say something funny.
Yeah, okay, not that funny. Who's the best dresser?
Ollie.
I would say Ollie.
Yeah, I'd say that as
Ollie's,
well.
do you not think he's a very handsome frontman? I think he looks like some kind of Greek god.
I would agree with that as well.
Oh,
I would
yeah,
also
yeah.
say he could be a gay icon, couldn't he?
Yeah.
You could, you could.
What he is?
I'm just glad you're in this part of Birmingham and not the part that I usually park when I'm down to Victoria with Chrissy Johnson, because I don't think you'd walk past that Nightingale, mate, without getting dragged in. That's all I'm saying, Al.
We'll be,
Nightingale, make a note of that.
he'll be heading there after the gig now.
If we were, offered a slot at a Pride festival, we wouldn't turn it down.
I wouldn't
We'd be
turn
happy
nothing
to.
down.
It's a big scene in Manchester,
Yeah.
definitely. So, yeah.
Well, as I say, these scenes like the Gay Pride now are one of the few kind of events that councils actually put some money into these days, don't they?
Yeah, the Manchester one's really good. Manchester one's massive. I've
Yeah.
been a couple of times and it is good.
And the St Patrick's Day, I mean, it's almost, well, it'd be turned St Patrick's Day.
Yeah. Well, like Manchester's always something going on in
Yeah.
Manchester, so we do a lot there.
So we're still the second city in the UK. Manchester.
It's debatable, isn't it?
Well, is it debatable, Craig?
Well, I've looked at a few forums on this particular topic, and most people cite Manchester as the second city in the UK. And you're clenching your teeth now, so...
What's Manchester got that Birmingham hasn't got?
Football teams in the Premier League.
I would totally agree with that. That's one.
It's just. I don't know. It's just got a bit. It's just. I just think it's better.
I must admit, I went to Manchester last couple of seasons ago. I watched the Villa actually. I better cut that bit out. And we went into Manchester city centre. I was surprised how brilliant it was. And I thought there was some great bars as well.
I think Birmingham's a great city too. I think Manchester had like a lot more regeneration in the last sort of 10, 20 years. So I think I don't know. It's just a sort of, like you said before, it's a mecca for sort of music and culture and things. But
and you're going solo a bit. The Tories are letting you govern yourselves, aren't they, in Manchester?
Devolution.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Gonna get a mayor.
I think what they like to do, the Tories like to devolute everywhere that isn't blue, and then they can run London themselves.
Sure.
I think that's the game plan. They're going to have that little cocoon round Westminster, and the rest of us can sing for our supper. Well, you better go and get your supper. I'm going to go and get my supper because I'm absolutely starving. Sorry?
Which way do we head for food?
Well, they do a decent pizza in here, apparently.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. The only thing is, round here you've got Broad Street, and I don't know. I don't like dumbing down Birmingham, but I'm not a big fan of Broad Street. I'm a bigger fan of the more independent bars and some of the great bars that we've got. And mind you, we've been talking forever and a day. You probably ain't got time for your food now, have you? I'm going to have a pizza and a pint. Guys,
so much, Gavin.
can I wish you all the very best?
Thank you. We'll see
Cheers,
you
mate.
later on.
Cheers, boys. Thanks very much. Have a great night. Have a great stay in Birmingham. And you know the Biscuit Boys will support you 100%.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate that.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Well, thanks for listening. I'm going to go and jump in a canal for a swim. Ta-ra a bit. Bye-bye.
A friend for life, or so you thought. A judgment, chemicals distort. You're all the same, the best of friends. A grown-up game of let's pretend. You're only trying to fit in, lying, basking in their sin. Initiation of the night, staying out until first light. It's not the way your life should be. Get out if you want to. Get out if you want to. It's not too late to make amends. Your ties can be broken. Your ties can be broken with chemical friends. Night, the walk of shame, the endless chemicals to blame. You're near the end, a carousel. You see the grace from which you fell. A wilderness, time to recede. Another cycle that repeats. Initiation of the night, staying out until first light. It's not the